Hey guys, I have some pre-shuffled cards already because if I do it right now it takes forever. I'm just picking up the final message or like I guess a keyword that may come up with each pile randomly. Alright, there's pile 1. A very jumpy little pile. Pile 2. So that pile's a little more calm, or needs to be a little more calm. Pile 3. Pile 4. Alright, I thought I'd share this really cool looking geode that I've been working on that's hand painted. I thought these colors looked really beautiful together and kind of gave me like the healing vibes in a way. Thought I'd share neat stuff. Alright, you guys. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4. Take some time, just breathe, relax, and pick your pile responsibly. And we're gonna get started. Pile 1. Keyword. They're serious. Maybe relationships, maybe something, maybe has something to do with that. Little lessons. Turn for the better, things going smoothly. The end of a dry spell. Things starting to look up and restore balance. And juggling opportunities. Ooh, you may have to choose something. Maybe in relationships, maybe in work. Who knows? Alright, little messages. Going against the grain right now will only do more harm than good. Don't fight the current. Release. Ooh, somebody has to practice a little more detachment and relax a little bit. And then also, I am thinking, feeling, channeling, downloading. Give me a sec. You need to be more in the flow of things. Like, go more with the flow. Relax a little bit and practice mindful detachment, especially when it comes to certain relationships or certain things that are going on or decisions. For somebody, I'm getting, it's probably somebody's making a type of decision. May not be yourself, may someone else, someone that you know or care about also, that they're making a decision that's more based on them and they're serious about it. But for some of you or others, it's just you're emulating the seriousness of really needing to form more balance, and you're working on it, you're getting there. Especially with this, it gives me the feeling that you guys are on your way, so keep going. And then when things get hard or seem to get a little bit more stagnant, just go with the flow of things, relax a little bit more, practice that I don't really care right now vibe, and relax a little bit. I know the energy around right now is pretty stiff out there. Just go with the flow, breathe, maybe ground yourself a little bit. For some of you, I'm getting you may need to go out into nature more, maybe do a little hike, sit with the earth and just meditate, just absorb and sit and breathe and enjoy the smell of nature. Alright. Look at that. So 10 of Pentacles, money, contentment, signing of money agreement. For some of you, I did get that it is going to have to be a more work related or job perspective, but you're getting there. You just have to have that cool, collected, cool cucumber feeling when you're doing anything that has to do with money, jobs, and career movements. Cool cucumber. You will get there. Just a little more balance is required. You're almost there. You will get there. Crystal Charoite, number 50. Excuse me about that, pile one. I had to sneeze really quick and I didn't want to do it on camera. Charoite. So this is the crystal that is trying to resonate with you. Look at how beautiful this is. I swear, these crystal cards never ever let me down, because I always tend to ground myself and I like being out in nature a lot. And I just happen to be blessed that nature's always giving back to me in a different way, that I always end up finding natural crystals wherever I go. So, pretty cool. So charoite, I'm going to read that out of the book because these have long meanings and I don't know all of the crystals yet, but hey, we're working on it. As long as we're always doing our best, that's all that matters and that's all that counts. There's always progress, not perfection, because perfection is an idealism and we're always striving to progress and continue to get better. That is just how we continue to ascend ourselves and move forward with our being and our spiritual journeys as well. So there might be a message for one of you or some of you in that. So charoite, this stone resonates more with wounded healing or wound healing. Some of you may have to do some wound healing or reparenting of your inner child when it comes to certain issues that may stem from this, so you might want to check into that. Charoite provides deep physical and emotional healing. It transmutes negative energy and converts dis-ease into wellness. With its assistance, you recognize your greatest trauma and it's your most profound gift. Accept it with grace. So for some of you, it's calling for you to actually use that pain or trauma or whatever it is that you've gone through to transform that into a way that you can create something more from it. Use it to empower yourself. It heals and integrates duality. Dualities talk about balance. So this does require balance and a lot of effort from you. So the thing is, you're getting there and you're making the efforts and you're putting in the work and it's not going unnoticed. It's definitely catching attention that you are getting better for you and you're doing it for you. So that's what goes on with this. They're serious. So chances are it could be you. Chances would be someone that's actually trying to make a difference, either for you as an opportunity or give you an opportunity for work or career advancement. Maybe you're doing that for yourself. I get also the vibe of someone that's being a go-getter. And also for those of you that are trying to start a business and that kind of stuff, you will have the ability to make that pentacle grow into this and flourish. You just have to let go of certain wounds and really heal, because you're gonna have to deal with juggling a lot of opportunities, especially when it comes to money. The diamonds also remind me of money, or the Two of Pentacles, which is also juggling money, juggling certain options, balancing things. But things are gonna turn out well. You're putting in the effort for some of you, or seeing that in someone else. For your self-understanding, deep fears and schisms pervade your being. You may not feel that you belong to Earth or feel alienated, and insecurities lie beneath a deceptively calm surface. That's a spiritual lesson for somebody out there. You are subtly driven by other people's thoughts and programs rather than your own. Your autonomic nervous system may be malfunctioning. If so, it needs recalibrating. If you've been feeling anxious, you might want to take a step back and really feel it out to see if certain things playing out actually as they are, or if we are overthinking sometimes. As well as some of you needing to take a step back, as you may be empaths or sensitives or intuitives as well, that may absorb a lot of energies around you, that at sometimes they may be overwhelming, and you may need to recalibrate yourself by grounding yourself a little bit to also be able to accurately pinpoint what is really how you're feeling versus how you're feeling around for others, and just feeling the room and not yourself. So that's a certain boundary for someone that needs to establish. It's time to take control. You're also undergoing a vibrational change and creating links to higher realities. Visions of past lives suggest ways to redness karma, personally and collectively. So this could mean, I don't know, maybe there's something embarrassing that you may have gone through that maybe you need to make peace with as well. Even, past mistakes have to be forgiven so that we can move forward as well. And sometimes when I hear past lives, it doesn't necessarily mean, for me, it doesn't necessarily mean your past life as in one before you certainly lived in this one or manifested here, but it could be versions of yourself that used to be, and maybe there's some that are lingering and things that maybe sometimes we need to cut away in order to continue to move forward and have that steadfast progress, so that you can look back and feel great and amazing for all the things that you have worked towards and accomplished. So your healing insight would be, in accepting the present moment as perfect, you create the space to heal. So by being perfectly here and present, which means a lot of you, I'm guessing, need to ground yourself more, especially if things are chaotic outside, definitely, which they are everywhere, for certain people in certain areas, and also just taking the time to have that gratitude that you're safe, you're alive, and you're here right now. So you need to start by healing the wounds of the past as well. Alright, so final message. Loss. If you've been experiencing a loss, maybe some of you have lost someone, or feel like you have a loss of something. Sometimes you learn true offering through loss. You make a passionate invitation for love to take over and bring her own plan instead of the ego's. So basically, what I'm getting, maybe some of you are going through an ego death, and this is paving the way for you. So this is probably what it means also by they're serious. So what I'm getting is also that sometimes we need to learn how to lose so that we can definitely learn how to win our next victory and continue on. That's for somebody out there, or something, anything to do with money prospects and business and stuff like that. But through this loss, it's not a total loss, because right behind it definitely is the Ten of Pentacles, and also turns for the better. You just have to go with the flow, feel it out, and get going on that same path that you're on, because you're definitely learning and it's being noticed. So keep going, you're making amazing progress. So that's awesome for some of you. These are the general messages from your ancestors to you. Happy healing, and always stay grateful. Thank you, Pile 1. Alright, Pile 2. Welcome. So your keywords would be winter. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus. Alright, winter. Let's see. We have a persona or energy here that is more dominant, or you embody this, or you know somebody that embodies this. Maybe they were born during the winter time, or maybe they're gonna come around during the winter time, or really made their presence known during that time. Someone who is fun and interesting. They can be shallow, or shallow at times, but they know how to make money. Has medium to dark features. Could be somebody light-skinned with maybe black hair, black brows, dark eyes, or somebody medium to dark skin tone, tan, just dark features in general, but not necessarily somebody who, they have a knack for making money, and usually they're pretty solid within themselves, and they can be a little vain. What do I get? I don't know, maybe Leo vibe, something like that. But I know Leos are not born during the winter, but sometimes it carries sort of that energy where it's like solid, they can be fun, interesting, but also show that little side of vanity, or know that they're that it, or have that it personality going. There's somebody that's an awesome catch, and that they're resourceful. Others can be jealous, or tend to be jealous of them, or have envy around them, just because of the way they carry themselves. Very confident. Maybe this person likes the wintertime. Alright. Some other messages and lessons to take into note. Focusing on other issues rather than the big elephant in the room will only lead you to further disappointments with self. Go on and do the work. So if this is you being in shallow vibes, that means that you're being called to action to step out of your ego zone or your comfort zone, and really level up for yourself. And move this closer. Really level up for yourself. Just if you've been in those low energy, low vibration, it's time to move on and get out from that. Because at the end of the day, you're not helping nobody, especially not yourself. And that's the important thing, is maintaining that balance within self and being able to surpass behaviors of ourselves or others around us, and move on towards a more calmer season in our spiritual advancement. Maybe you have to let go of someone like that, someone that's more in their ego, someone that has that shallowness that's really being made known, and you're going to have to make a decision on whether it's something that you want to be tied to, around to, or that type of energy you're feeling that has that sense to it. 10 of Swords, death or an ending of a situation or relationship. I'm hearing situationship as well. So definitely it's time to move on past something. Maybe you're experiencing this winter because of this person. It could be that you're feeling that coldness, but you're also ending a cycle so that you can become something better. Even if people don't like your transformation, keep going. It's not about them. It's about you. And it's about how far you go for yourself. The crystal that you received was 23 trigonomic quartz. Let me see if I can get a better look of this. Ta-da. So you can get the energy of that crystal there. Trigonomic quartz. Let me see. It's the soul's code. Trigonomic. I can't even speak. Maybe that's how you feel right now. You can't even speak. Or maybe you need to go into a little bit of a hermeticism and go into self and take some time to really unwind yourself so that you can speak. Or maybe some of you guys are having issues expressing that third chakra, that throat chakra, and voicing out how you really feel. That might be a point for some of you to work on. Trigonics hold the secrets of the universe and rapidly expand your awareness of multi-dimensions. Trigonics are the cosmic coding for the soul. So some of you may end up receiving a spiritual download that has to do with an upgrade of that kind of, I guess, maybe surpassing a little bit of an ego death, kind of like Pile 1. I don't know if maybe you were drawn to Pile 1. That may be a message there for you as well. But basically, your self-understanding is that you're an eternal spirit on a human journey. As a result, you feel that Earth is not your true home. But always remember that you are here for a purpose. Expand your awareness, restructuring your physical and subtle bodies, beliefs, and realities. So you're being called to really come together and think about how you handle situations within yourself, how they affect you and your surroundings, and the subtle energies around you as well. You are a reflection of your surroundings, and also you're a reflection of who you are around. So if that's not what you want to emulate, that's something that you need to change. Again, it's all about self. Everyone outside of you does not matter. If there is chaos within you, that you don't have the peace to support the chaotic world around you. You need to learn to make peace with self and peace with the things that are around. Birth your soul fully on earth if you feel alienated. Sorry about that. You may have to really do some inner work and grounding for yourself to actually center yourself enough to see clearly where you're going and fully get past all of those things. Meditations trigger your soul's full potential and purpose. It reintegrates fragments of your soul and brings about your wholeness. So yeah, maybe some of you have been feeling fragmented and feeling like you've been going through a personal winter, and or feeling like a loss of something. Or at least the good thing is that with this excuse me, internal loss of some kind that seems like it, you'll be able to get past that and birth something new. What I get the feeling of is that it's happening for you, not to you. So you shouldn't feel really bad about it, but it's more of an internal change, almost like the butterfly, because it's happening in a form of metamorphosis that it's internal. It's slow process. One has to go on it alone without others around. Have you heard of that? It's a journey or a travel that only you can take, and you can't take everyone with you. It's one of those things. You need to recognize the multidimensional breadth of your own soul. Remain honest to achieve success. Okay, guys, so this definitely remain honest so that you can achieve success also refers to Remain honest with yourself. Even if others can't see or notice it, be true to you always. Because you can lie to the whole world, you can lie to the next door neighbor, you can lie to the street, you can lie to the mailman, anyone else, but you cannot lie to yourself about the reality of how things are. And also, you can't lie to your higher self. It's been there, it's done that. So you're really being called to really sit and reflect on that for yourself, so that you can achieve the successes that you want. Maybe look back into things that have affected you and how you can move past that, and also realizing whether the situation is worse than what it actually is. Reach beyond apparent reality and karma and let go of the conflicts. You're being called to find the peace within yourself so that you can move forward. Some of you, I feel like there's some forgiveness that has to be involved. And at that point, you don't do it for anyone else. You do it for yourself so you can find that peace to move forward. Even if you don't ever hear an apology from no one, forgive them anyways, because the only one that's going to be affected is you. If you hang on to that energy and that, say, for example, if some of you have been angry or upset, if you hang on to that for so long, you never voice it out, and you just bury it deep, the only one that's drinking their own poison is you. Why? Because this person or a situation, they don't care. It's going to continue to go on, do its thing, and go around and go about. Break that cycle within yourself. Stop caring about other things that really don't matter, and go on with it. Do the work. Otherwise, you're going to only lead to further self-disappointment if you don't really step up your game to yourself. You're being called to set up your boundaries and reaffirm those boundaries if you have them, and don't let no one cross them, because at the end of the day, the only one that loses is you. I tell everyone, do not take actions for others at your own expense unless you're willing to do so at a price. When I say at a price, it's either energetically, emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever. And at what price are you willing to pay for that? So renegotiate soul contracts for those of you that are a little more advanced in your spiritual journey and understand a little bit more when it comes to like the transformation process. You need to heal soul traumas and expel toxins. So some of you need to detox from the physical and the energetic bodies around you. Maybe some of you need to burn some sage around you to get all these vampires and vampiros out of your way, or just bad juju energies away from you, or just clear the heavy energy around you so that you can download higher frequencies, spiritual energies, and start to integrate yourself more together. I get the feeling that some of you feel fragmented, or maybe some of you are experiencing a sort of awakening process also within self that is causing you to have kind of like an identity crisis within yourself, where you thought you knew yourself this way, but now you are turning this way, or you're developing this way, and that's perfectly fine. It's okay. We're all meant to grow and learn and change. We're not meant to stay stagnant or the same forever. If you're the same forever, you might as well be dead. Seriously. You might as well be non-existent, because your growth stops. When something stops growing, it dies. You're like a plant. You need to make sure that you prune the things that are affecting you, and always water yourself. Give yourself the positive energy of the sun that you need. Some of you may need to be in the sun a little bit more. Some of you may need to take in a little more vitamin D. That's only for some of you. Just take it as it goes. What resonates for you, what doesn't, is for the rest of the collective. You need to be able to listen to your soul, because it's going to provide everything that you need for your well-being. You need to learn to listen to yourself and develop that communication with you and your inner child, so that you can be in full unity between yourself in this present moment, your younger self or your inner child, which holds all of the keys to the answers of your traumas and your happiness as well, or happinesses, and the unity between those two and the higher self or soul, so that you can be in like a perfect triad, basically. Some of you may be drawn to triangles. Maybe that's why the trigonomic quartz comes out to you, because of that sacred geometry might be important for some of you. Or maybe some of you may need to look into that. It's time to evolve and evolve into self, so that you can reach higher dimensions within yourself, or higher understanding of yourself as to how you react a certain way, why you react a certain way, and if those patterns are serving you in the best manner, or if they're not and they're just contributing to toxic energy, and energy that may be draining oneself. Because sometimes when you spend too much time in that energy yourself, you drain yourself. Essentially, you can give away your own energy or aura that way. Instead of having a spiritual energy vampire around you, you become the energy leakage. So you tend to have a energetic leak in your own aura or your own energy vibrations. And you need to recalibrate yourself in order to be able to, I guess, fix that in an energetic boundary sort of way. But it really has to do with a lot of putting in that self-work. Final card, which is gratitude. Let me see if I can get it. Gratitude. Fill me with gratitude for all you give. May I be a vehicle for you wherever you go. So be at peace in the moment and have gratitude for what is. You are healthy, you're alive, you're safe right now. Being grateful for what you do have, what you don't have, essentially, as well. And being able to just express to the universe and to self, give thanks to oneself as well for how far you've come along and for everything that you have received, and just be in that energy of humility. Sometimes when we experience this Ten of Swords, or our own personal winter, we're also being called to be humble within oneself, or humble ourselves, so that we can essentially move on to the next chapter of our lives and of ourselves. At the end of the day, with humility, one never loses. One can transform even the biggest losses into wins if you can transmute those negativities into a type of empowerment for yourself. Alright, pile 2, that's all the messages that I have for you. Thank you for spending time with me here today. And if you like this, please like, subscribe, and share my readings. And thank you for having patience with me, as we're always learning every single day. Hello, pile 3. Thank you for being here with me. Please make sure that you just take what resonates with you, leave the rest for the rest of the collective, and we'll get started now. Let's see. So this to me represents more of like a sort of like I guess your internal tides. And pretty much to me it seems like your internal tides are, you know, the beach weather of your emotions or internal self, because water is emotion, and it's meeting the land, and it's very at peace. Signifies to me that perhaps you may be a little more balanced when it comes to your emotions, or maybe that's something that you may need to work on. And maybe you may need to weed out some of the things that are no longer serving you. You know how we tend to find seaweed on the side of the beach at times? For those of you that live near beaches or have been near a beach, or it may be important for you to visit a beach to get that more, I guess, grounded, creative, energetic energy, nice healing energy from the ocean that leaves you feeling refreshed, and also being able to handle the waves that come at you. They're pretty calm to me. So let's see. All right. So major changes depending on you. Good fortune for those who put in the effort. You're on top or you're on bottom of things. So this card also reminds me kind of like the 10 of Wands, because obviously it's the 10 of Clubs. It doesn't always necessarily correlate, but it does at the time. I read more intuitive, so to me, you're either on top or on bottom of things. You're either on top of your burdens, if you have any burdens, or you're under them and you're feeling the pressure of it. But the good thing either way is if you do happen to put the effort now, you'll definitely have good fortune, and you'll meet the expectations that you've been meeting or trying to meet within yourself, which could also mean that you may find this type of balance within yourself. Let's see other messages. Follow the map of your heart's desire with wisdom of mindful experience. Keep going. So yeah, I keep getting that same feeling for some of you, that that calmness at ease within yourself. Even if things are chaotic around you, you know how to handle the situation, or you can handle the situation in a way that's very peaceful or easygoing, or you may need to emulate that. Be easygoing, follow the tide, or ride the wave, and the wave will never come crashing down on you. But either way, keep going. You're making progress. Tower. Catastrophe, accident, things happening very quickly at a lightning pace. So yeah, again, you're experiencing changes that you need to be guiding yourself, or you may feel your ancestors to guide you through this situation or experience that you may be dealing with, in a way where you'll be able to walk through hell in peace. If you've been dealing with anything that has been heavy or particularly burdening on you, you're going to start experiencing a more calm piece of attitude. I don't know, like this combination also reminds me of the overall feeling of temperance, where you get that either the calm before the storm, the calm during the storm, or the calm after the storm. And you need to see that it's just a little rain for the time being, but once the rain is over, you'll definitely see rainbows. So that's something that may be important to you. You may be experiencing your own little personal hurricane at times, but there is nothing that you can't handle. There isn't an ocean deep enough within yourself that you can't handle. Number 47, this is Ancestral Light. So I'm going to read it out of the book. Ancestral Light, the ancestors. It has been radically modified during its time on Earth. It helps you find the hidden treasures on your past. It takes healing way back and brings forward soul learning, rolling it into the future but letting go of the experiences that created it. So maybe some of you are just starting to go into this spiritual journey with this tower moment that's triggered something within you, and you're being led to follow your heart and follow your heart's desire, but listen to the wisdom that comes to you through signs and synchronicities from the earth around you, from your ancestors. And I feel particularly water elemented themes, like mermaids, oceans, sea nymphs, anything particular that has to do maybe with things that tend to be more subjective with the inner ocean, inner sea. Okay, let's see. So for your self-understanding, any diseases, I don't mean disease like you're sick, diseases like issues within yourself that cause an ill ease within oneself. You're carrying ancient and passed down diseases through your ancestral line. It relates to prevailing attitudes and forbidden emotions that have been kept firmly repressed, as well as to ancient dramas and family dramas. Take note of your dreams. The ocean is very subjective to like your dreams, the water, subconscious, unsubconscious. And also family secrets may come to the surface. A radical rethink is called for all you think, you believe, and allow yourself to feel, which is this spiritual journey you're being called to move forward and walk through. You're being called to question all of those things and whether if they're purposeful or serve a purpose, and how can you get past them. The ancestors are all those who have gone before you, not just your bloodline. Heal them and you shall be able to heal yourself. Really think back at look at habits, look at I guess cycles that you put yourself into, or your family, or just sit back and observe to see what is affecting you and why it affects you and who it affects and who it's coming from and how that relates to you and how that relates to your family and how that relates to your ancestors, and see what you can do about breaking those chains and those cycles, because you have the total capability to get through this with ease. And at the end of it, you will have such a peace and calm once you weed out those things rooted deeply in your subconscious or your emotional self, that you will find just an amazing peace. Anyways, moving on to the next card, which is expansiveness. Eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. You got butterflies here. So you have to be able to transform. You have a butterflies and then a tiny, tiny little moth. To me, butterflies were, yes, like that internal change within self, but the moth itself, to me, represents an internal change within oneself. But how people in society tends to see moths as more negative, it represents the shadow self to me. especially when you're dealing with having to go through an emotional awakening, spiritual journey that has to do with all of that. Moths to me represent having to go in there and do the transformation of self-work, self-healing, and I can't even talk anymore. Ooh. The shadow self, just the shadow aspected transformation to doing the shadow work. Eternity is far more creative, so maybe you'll end up finding a creative way of being able to transmute that and create something amazing. And if you start feeling exhausted, please take that rest, because if you end up tapping a lot into that ego, you will end up really constrained. You will end up feeling like if you're under the guise of, I guess, the Eight of Swords, which is a form of self-imposed bondage, and we don't want to do that. That is what we want to move away from. That's not the type of energy we want to end up being in. So these are all your messages for today. Messages from your ancestors. Thank you for being here with me and with the ancestors. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and again, just take what resonates with you, leave what does not for the rest of the collective. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and share it with anybody who might need to hear some messages from their ancestors as well. Thank you. See you guys later. Hello, Pile 4. Thank you for being here with us today. And I mean by us, I mean with me and the ancestors. Let's get started. Again, this is a general reading. Take what resonates for you, leave the rest for the collective. The number 2, partnerships. Maybe something that may be a point of highlight for you, partnerships. Let's see. We have dark features, medium to light skin. It might be describing somebody that you know or yourself. Someone who is successful, disciplined and firm. Someone who can be passionate and driven, knows what they want in life and how to get it. So this is somebody that's more of a strong go-getter, someone who's warm and compassionate. Definitely somebody that may also know how to move along with the challenges of life and make a difference in their own life. Let's see, other many lessons that we got to look into. Focus deeply on self to bring yourself back into the balance. So this balance, lack of focus equals balance. So you may need to rebalance, refocus, or shift your focus into things so that you can bring more balance into situations, for decisions, when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to anything that you're really dealing with. So with some good advice. I'm also hearing shift your focus into deeper understanding for self as well, or balancing that partnership with yourself too. That's for some of you, that's not for all of you. Page of Pentacles. Young woman, 25 years, student, male or female. It doesn't necessarily have to represent anyone. It can represent the type of energy that, either this person or you may carry, or your situation may have, is someone that's astute and always looking for a way to create a come up, or someone that may look for a new hustle or be into learning something new for the development process of creating that coin. And definitely opening up new opportunities when it comes to like the career field, or when it comes to creating more of a financial balance as well. Let's see. The crystal you got was the rainbow Mayanite. Look at how beautiful that is. Beautiful crystal. If you can see it a little bit, but actually has like this really pretty, supposed to look rainbowy. So I'm going to read that one out of the book for you. Sorry, I'm having camera issues here. Alright, Rainbow Mayanite, the Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Mayanite bridges the world and the rest of creation. It heals unconditionally and assists the shifts to a new level of consciousness. You are a leader. When you raise your vibrations, the whole benefits. So when you raise your vibration, you don't just take the benefit for yourself, but you also tend to affect your surroundings as well. De-energize old patterns, release karmic incrustations and toxic dross from your ethereal body. This crystal will help and assist this. So if you have access to a Rainbow Mayanite, or you can get one, I highly recommend it, as it may help you kind of process all of those things and kind of detox from these old energies and patterns that may be holding you bound. It's asking you to go within to find your own inner rainbow, your own treasure. The happiness is within yourself, within your inner child that used to bring you a lot of, peace, calm, creativity, ability to actually create. I feel that you may be able to make maybe money off of your creative endeavors, if that's something that you're artistic, or you're just someone that's a content creator, somebody that just in general likes to create. Raise your consciousness so that you can build new and supportive structures in every level. This also, to me, speaks that raise your consciousness so that you can find your soul tribe and those that have that same likeness and mentality and ideology that will help you further advance as well. And by working on yourself, you will attract those things and people that you need in your life that will help you create an even further deeper balance and just have that peace and really step into that power to become more of a leader, not just for yourself, but for your surroundings and maybe even for your community. So recognize how your soul is maneuvering into your true pathway. This also talks about being more authentic with oneself and really following what it is that really drives you for your highest good. Apparently detrimental situations offer soul gifts. So if you've been experiencing any kind of situations that seem more negative, or it's just not an entirely good outcome that you were looking for, or just something unexpected that kind of threw you off, use that as a learning point to be able to overcome those things for the following time, should you be presented with that same type of situation. Even if it's not in the exact same form, you will be able to recognize that energy. Re-examine your projects and let go of those that are not for your highest good of yourself or those of others. You see things from both sides and always speak true no matter what the cost, but be tactful. Again, this talks about being authentic, but also being, I guess, on time with yourself, going at your pace, being tactful, but also don't waste too much time, because when you tend to dwindle on a situation, you end up creating an imbalance within yourself and in the energy field around you. So you really need to stay centered. And a lot of the piles that I've been reading for today, we all tend to need meditation and grounding and refocusing our shift in that. And I'm guessing it might have to do with the retrograde, but honestly, soul's journey always is like this. There is a need for a lot of grounding and centering and focusing and refocusing and reshifting, so that we can find our true leader within ourselves and be able to pull ourselves forward and set an example, not just for ourselves and for our inner child that may have not have had that in the past, but also for those around you. Maybe you're going to end up being someone that inspires another to continue on their path themselves, and also be able to move past by the example that you set, that it can be done, as long as you're willing to put in the work for it as well, and have and maintain that discipline and focus. You have the natural healing ability, so focus it wisely. For this, I get that some of you may have just a general healing vibration of you, or just a healing aura, or other people like being around you, or you're very charismatic because it feels good, and it feels good to be around you. That being said, you may also want to practice being selective of who and what you share that light with, because you wouldn't want anybody or any situation to dim that light. So when things start to get heavy, or let's just say distracting, you need to come back to yourself. Reshift your focus back to yourself, so that you can make the positive changes within that can affect the changes outside of yourself. So go within so that you may be without. Letting go attunes you to the realm of infinite possibilities. So allowing yourself to be in that consistent flow of creativity, and focusing on the things that really bring you back that sense of peace and balance is what you really need to go after, so that you can be able to create and be able to move forth in that calm, in that peace, in that authenticity. And well, yeah, you're working towards stepping into that power yourself, which is awesome. Great job, you guys, for those of you that are on this path. You're being called to also be the bridge between worlds. And to me, that can also mean like between worlds could be whether you're balancing your emotional with your financial with your home stability or your home family matters, or just being the bridge between opposition or opposing sides, and being able someone that can understand both sides and see eye to eye and level on both and maintain that balance. For you guys, balance, again, number 2, representative of partnerships, but also 2 to me stands for balance. You got to balance those scales, dualities, so that you can maintain the balance around you and manifest a type of peace, and inspire others to also follow in that as well. Your final card, grief. Tears are what happen when the ice in the heart melts. So again, if you've been experiencing negative stuff or negative situations, negative feelings within oneself, things that tend to be more distracting, or just in general the overall energy around you is pretty heavy, you need to detach from all of that and focus deeply back on yourself to bring yourself back into balance, because at the end of the day, it really matters most. The inner peace and the inner calm, your inner world, is what matters most and I can't even speak. It will dictate how you view, feel, see, and express into the world. And that has a lot to do with affecting the changes around you. Yeah, I mean, it looks really positive, and it looks like, well, yeah, you'll be able to get through this easy peasy. So as long as you maintain that balance with yourself and shift the focus back onto you, so that you can continue to be a successful, disciplined person and be that leader. That's what I'm getting. Leader. You are a leader, and you're being called to lead, and lead by example, and in a way set the trend and start the forward motion for others who may be inspired by you to do the same within themselves. And in turn, a domino effect will cause the changes that you want to see around you and around in the world. It takes every single one of us to make small changes within ourselves so that we can change the world around us, and we can change everything on a larger scale. But it starts with us. It starts with the self. It starts with one really focusing and disciplining oneself to actively move in a way that balances both your inside and your outside. But it starts within you. It starts within all of us. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Thank you, Pile 4. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and share with somebody that may need to hear any of these kinds of messages. Again, thank you, and thank you for having patience with me, as we're always learning every day. Hope you come back and join me again sometime. Thank you.